All right, I'm going to show you a little bit about gathering and using your VIGs and also your equipment to maximize gathering speed and a speed getting to the tile. All right, I'm going to go back to my turf and I will pick out a tile. I'll pick up the closest one here and we'll see. First of all, you're allowed 2 VIGs. I have Natalie. She gathers 50% faster. If you see down at the bottom, it shows 48,000 arms I can collect with 6,600 T2s. So, and it takes 56 seconds to get there. To get to the tile to gather. It's going to take 56 seconds for those troops to move. Once Natalie gets there, she's going to gather those troops 50% faster. Ethan gets me there 10% faster. You see the 56 down on the bottom right? If I remove Ethan, it goes up to a minute. So by putting Ethan in there, it's 10% more. You get 5 seconds faster. So I put Ethan back and I get to 56. So it doesn't mean much when you're doing gathering normally, but in tournaments, when you're got the gathering contest, 4 seconds over 24 hours each way, that's 10 seconds. And if you do, you can probably save a minute, which is, and if you have somebody with 50% gathering speed, you could probably get an extra, 5,000 resources quicker by having a fast person getting there and back. So that's how you use your guys with crime ops, because gathering is a crime. Charles, if you notice Charles, 6,600, but I'll get 51,000 arms by Charles because he gives you more load, but there's not 51,000. There's not 51,000 pieces of resources in that tile, so he really doesn't do much other than you can lower your troops, so you'd have less troops going there to still come up with 48,000. See how it's going down because I'm lowering the amount of troops, so I don't have to have as many going to that ops, and I would still get there with the same if I used him. But let's put Ethan back. I'll quick select. I'll get my 48 with Ethan in them, and I'll gather. So I'll get there in 56 seconds, and I'll start gathering. All right. Then you'll see there. Now, the reason tiles are half chewed is what I call them, half chewed up, and they're not completely done. Could be 2 things. It could be that you just needed to get your ops back to your turf to do something else and you left it half eaten, or you have not enough troops to fulfill the amount of resources in that tile. So what you need to do in that case is you don't have to go to a level 6. We have level 6s and level 7s around our hive. Not too many level 5s or 4s where you're here. So don't use a level 7 if you don't see that your troops are going to cover the amount in that tile. It's not fair. The way it works is there's only so many tiles that are in the city, and when that one drains, then another one's replaced. So if we have a bunch of half-eaten resource tiles all over the place, there isn't going to be any new tiles dropping on the city. You have to clear the one out. I typically will just clear them out because I know that another one's going to drop. It might not drop near me, it might drop somewhere else, but it still will drop another one. And more resources in the city is a lot better than a bunch of half-eaten ones. So if you see a half-eaten one, do the city a favor and go ahead and finish it up, and then you can get another one later. But try to finish up all the tiles that you can. there's that search engine. The search engine works in a 50-mile radius. So when you start seeing stuff that's not showing up, that means there's nothing within 50 miles of that search engine. So what I do is I usually go out 100 miles from the hive. So that way I have a 50-mile radius backtracking to the hive, which is where all those tiles that I couldn't find, I can find now because I'm within that 50-mile radius, and I have another sector that I can look at. There's a lot less people 100 miles out. You can still find sixes all over the place, 100 miles from the hive. So I pour it in when I usually do a big cargo job. I'll pour it in, and I'll sit out here for a day or two and gather as much as I can. And so that's how I do the gathering and how it works. And I just wanted to show you the different vigilantes that can speed up your gathering and also speed up getting to the tile to gather and speed back to your